Welcome to Crazy Guitars, welcome to my home studio, and welcome to Nebula 2. This is an electroacoustic build in a somewhat insane kind of a style, multi-scaled, etc., and I'm having fun. We have bent sides, we have a braced top and back, we have a potentially Spanish neck joint, I don't know. This whole thing started out as one thing and became another, and I'm loving the process. Okay, first of all, this is one of two builds I do every week. Among other videos, there's live streams going live on Fridays now. If you can join us, let me know in the comments below what is the best UK time for me to do a live stream for you. I could potentially be persuaded to do 2 on the Fridays, so we can get as many people as possible actually getting the chance to ask me questions in person. Anyway, that is besides the point. What is the point is that today I'm going to be carving the bracing on the back a little bit more. I want to remove a bit more material. I'm going to be gluing the back to the sides. I am going to be carving the braces in the top and seeing if I can do any voicing on that whatsoever. I am also going to be installing an end pin inlay kind of a thing, relatively subtle, but there we are. Now, several things. First of all, I've built in my entire life one standard steel string guitar, and that was more than a decade ago. And I completely forgot that I was supposed to seat the braces inside of the kerfing. So a couple of people pointed that out, and yes, mea culpa. This guitar is non-standard, and I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that in this case. I've also made the braces a little bit wider than is traditional, and again, that was on purpose. I'm trying some stuff out. Where are we? I might even play with the neck today. We'll see. We will see. Anyhow, this is how we got here. That is what I'm after. Burn it. Today, the fun begins. Haha, yay! Now, before I do anything, I want to stabilize this a little bit. So I'm going to clamp it. Yeah, I'm going to clamp it between the top and back plate with a little bit overhanging so I can play. Sutton who much? I think this works quite well. I'm a superhero, now you can't recognize me. I think I should get back to work, shouldn't I? Now. Well now, I'm having fun. Here. We can't really leave it there though. I like this shape. I think that's pretty damn cool. In fact, I'm tempted to make some sort of a helmet out of bent wood now, looking at that. But if you look at the neck, we've got a thin accent strip of black veneer everywhere. Ooh, look at the curve on that headstock. I'd forgotten about that. Cool. I need to glue some veneer on there and be done. Okay, then we go with super thin, because I don't want to, oh well, let's turn this off. So many people ask me what I listen to. It changes. At the moment, Linkin Park, because, hey, I'm old. So I've got that in place now, but I'm going to flood the veneer with super thin Starbond. Check them out. The link in the description, and we're going to have it in Crimson soon. Now, the thing is, I am reserving the right to stain this, and I don't want to get too much super glue on the burl maple. If I do it this way, it goes straight through the thin veneer and adds glue without going all over the maple, which is fantastic. Medium. I think this is looking pretty cool. Time to inlay it. Yes, this would be easier if I was just using a router. My thought process was I want to be able to clamp it in place with clamps and a core, which means I need to at the very least not have the top on. Frankly, I'm going to finish it this way because I've started this, but I think if I was to ever do it this way, well, I wouldn't do it this way. I would go in, glue the top and the back on, etc., then go into the router and just inlay it properly. That was not fun, nor advisable, really. But it worked. I'm going to use small clamps and some kerfing and just random little bits of stuff to spread it out. I don't want to bend a core or do a custom carved core. And yeah, we're going to glue this thing in. This was one of the less successful days in Lutheria that I've had of recent times. I don't think I should be allowed to build anything on Mondays. 4-day weeks, well, hey. We're there. When I put the clamps in, a few gaps opened up. Not that that's an issue with this. I'll be cleaning everything up soon. See you on the morrow. Take this moment to subscribe and click like. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning. Okay, well, I've been doing some reading about braces and voicing and all of that jazz. There's an incredibly interesting document put out in 2011 by a luthier called John Greven. We'll link to it in the description. And essentially it is basically a thesis on tops and bracing and patterns and things like that. And yeah, essentially what I need to do next is thin down my braces, and for a brighter tone you want narrower braces, and I've made them fairly thick in here because in my head it was the other way around. You want narrower braces and nice and tall ones. So I'm going to be carving and scalloping and having fun. But it's a very, very interesting read if you are into this sort of thing. This is done. We're glued down. And so yeah, next stage though, before I get to that, is to, with a leveling beam, obviously by Crimson, I'm going to sort that out and match the radius that I have in the ribs, get off that excess, and well, a little bit of sanding, and I'm going to glue it to the back after I carve the back braces. So much to do. I'm a little bit behind. I was expecting to carve the back braces while this was curing. We'll get there. We'll get there. Looks good there. Get in there. Close up. So all of my issues yesterday, well, most of my worries yesterday are completely and totally unfounded. Check out the mustache. Actually, it was pencil line. It isn't an absolutely perfect joint, and up here there is a gap that's going to be easy enough to fill. But look at that eye. Yeah, but the rest of it is fine. It was pencil lines that were making me think that I was, you know, not having a good day at all. What do you think? On to this. Let us have a look. I'm going to thin these down. I'm going to scallop them a little bit, and scallop them a little bit sideways as well. Remove a little bit of bulk, and see where we end up. Okay, so it's a little bit more alive, for want of a better word. Yeah, I haven't changed the basic tone all that much, but it's breathing a bit more. So yeah, there we go. Phew. Rule number one when you're about to do a glue up of this magnitude is to test. Test clamp everything. So I've sanded the internals down, and there were various different ways that this could go. I like that so much. The thought was potentially to have the sides in the mold and then essentially have a chunk of wood or three going across, and then just a few clamps, but that would involve taking the radius dishes and cutting them to the same shape as a guitar, and frankly, I don't want to sacrifice the radio stations for that. So, I mean, back to, what, 16th century tech, and it's violin makers' spool clamps all the way. This is going to be fun. I also now know where is the best place to start. From a shape point of view, I'm starting in this corner where the lower horn is, and that allows me to be all centered, and I've got a little bit of flexibility on this side. So yeah, it's all come together quickly. It took about half an hour of messing about, but time very, very well spent. Greetings. I just put my hand down in some glue. It was a little messier than I'd hoped, but we're all in place. I'm going to let this cure overnight, and yeah, onwards. Morning. I'm currently working my way through a final, I hope, batch of coffees to release. But that's not what we're here for today, is it? Let's get this thing uncramped. Okay, we have a solid thing. It is stable and it's working, and my coffee's kicking in as well. So, well, onwards. I need to finish carving this, and I need to figure out what I'm... Oh, you'll just look at that. Now, so my problem with the neck... Oh, gosh. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, distracted much? The problem with the neck is that it's not traditional. It was the first thing that I built in this series a long time ago, and the plan was that I was going to essentially have a deep set neck tenon, I suppose, going inside the hollow. Okay, the original guitar was going to be a solid LP type body that I then was going to carve internally the whole thing away in two curves like that, two concavities, and this was going to be going into one of those concavities. So just a bit of prettiness, slightly longer and not really necessary. And then the top was going to be bent over in an opposite curve. And that's what I did in the first guitar, Nebula 1. And I made the neck, and it's been in this state ever since, and I've been wondering how to do that. Now, the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that I have put bits and pieces in the middle, and that is too long. There's a... Okay. Now, I did that with full knowledge. I wanted this to be more stable, and, well, we have the options to cut this out away and around if necessary, or literally just chop this off and glue it in. Now, A Spanish joint, a Spanish neck joint, is where the sides actually inlay into the sides of the neck as well, and it keys everything in. But what it does mean is that I cannot glue the entire body together as you normally would, top, sides, back, and then just dovetail the neck in, because it's a completely different story. This is more akin to a through neck build, where I'm going to do everything I need to do, and then cut out the shape of the fretboard and inlay that over the neck and glue everything in. And again, it's a traditional, very traditional, many hundreds of years old technique. I don't really know why I'm doing it, except for the fact that I am. Now, talking too much, I'm going to consider my options. I can carry on with that route, chop the tongue off this neck here, and go and just do a Spanish neck joint. I could potentially take out the proto little chunk of wood in here holding the two sides together and put it a proper thing, chop the neck off, make a dovetail, and glue the neck in that way. I've been thinking about this for weeks and I still don't have an answer. I think it would be nice to do what I've been promising the whole time, though. So let's see. I do need to carve these braces too. That will be done. That will be done today. It's so strong. Even without the top, that is just as stable as anything else I've ever seen. Cool beans. I need more coffee. Jog it there. I need to get the angle absolutely spot on though as well. I think so much better when the pieces are there in front of me and I can actually see what I'm doing. I need to be aware of the break angle, so I'm going to have to change that. This was just literally the random piece of wood left as it was. I'm going to sort that out afterwards. It might, because in the process of making this acoustic, basically, I made this thicker than the original plan was going to be. So I may well need to be gluing on a piece of burr maple or two to raise the neck up. We'll see about that. I am going to chop I'm going to chop it off here, so the neck will be glued to the body through these two things. It's going to jump over that, and I'm going to split it down the middle as well to go around that central bar, and then I will carve it, etc. Now, part of what I'm doing is structural. I do want the neck to be as solid as possible. Bear in mind, with an acoustic, you've got a block here, and that's all the block is. So I don't need to make anything bigger. I could chop that off, and that block would be fine. But we have a hole here, and we're looking at stuff, and it's going to be cool. So I want this to be beautiful as well. So I'll be carving and chopping and changing and inlaying, and well, it's going to be fun. For now, I'm going to move on to montage mode. I'm going to put in some headphones, I'm going to lose myself, and I'm going to carve the bracing in the top. By the way, as a totally squirrel-based diversion, Great Guitar Build-Off is well in progress right now, and go to greatguitarbuildoff.com. There's a forum open to the public. I mean, you have to sign up for a free membership in order to be able to post, but this is a forum. We all know what forums are like. Please go and check it out. There's a bunch of guitar builders and interested parties posting on there, and it's great fun. I'm gonna montage mode. There we go. It's moving a bit more, sustaining a bit more, and it's got a brighter overtone, and we're only part way there. Carry on. I put it down on my eyes at you. Come on, man. So where you hit changes the characteristic of the tone. Obviously, hitting the bass plate, the bridge plate, bridge patch, come on, is one thing. Hitting the brace, that's, as I said earlier, gives me a sort of a higher response than I thought. That's the second X, but it's all fairly similar. And then we've got some overtones where it's vibrating a bit more here. I'm happy. It's a lot more musical than I thought this top would ever be. So, sanding. You don't need to watch me sand this, so we're not going to film that. I am going to say thank you very much for watching. Please click like, subscribe. Check out greatguitarbuildoff.com if you haven't yet. If you have any inkling that you want to build a guitar, do it on camera and let the whole world judge you. What can go wrong? Seriously though, it's an awesome competition and there's a lot going on. Please consider supporting us on Patreon, and do not forget that I'm now doing live streams Fridays, at least Fridays. And yeah, life's fun. Thank you for your support.